The Yankees are coming home for a deciding Game 5 at the stadium on Monday night. That's because Gerrit Cole did what he was paid to do, carry this ball club into the postseason and then perform in the postseason. Cole handled the pressure well, and he was all business tonight. He also gave the Yankees length, 110 pitches to be exact. It was a huge bounce-back win after a heartbreaking loss. John Chandler is at Progressive Field in Cleveland. And John, how would you describe the difference in the clubhouse from last night to tonight?
Well, obviously a much happier clubhouse tonight, a clubhouse that is confident now knowing that Game 5 will be on their turf back in the Bronx. And listen, Bruce, that was the mission all along after it crumbled so spectacularly on Saturday night. And when Gerrit Cole passed me leaving the clubhouse last night after that disastrous Game 3 loss, I could tell this was a man on a mission, and he pitched like it today. He was exceptional when absolutely nothing less would do for the Yankees facing elimination. Cole was sensational. He wasn't dominant necessarily against the Guardians, but he kept them off bay. He struck out 8. That 110th pitch of the night, striking out Austin Hedges. Boy, that really summed it up right there with Gerrit Cole pumping his fist and yelling, "Let's go," towards the Yankees dugout. It was a big moment. It was as big a start, I think, as Gerrit Cole has had wearing a Yankees uniform. And, you know, he did give up the requisite home run, Bruce, to Josh Naylor. And we saw that very weird celebration from Josh Naylor. He called Gerrit Cole "my son" and made like a baby rocking motion. I don't know. Gerrit said he didn't necessarily feel fired up by that. He didn't see it in the moment, but I have to believe that he had a little something extra after that from Josh Naylor.
Gerrit Cole, the $324 million man, now has 2 wins in this series. He has gone 13 1/3 innings and has 16 strikeouts. Let's move to Harrison Bader, the local kid who has 3 home runs, John, in this series. Only Charlie King Kong Keller and Harrison Bader have ever hit 3 homers in their first 4 postseason games. And, John, he's got some swagger, doesn't he?
He sure does. How's that for a name drop there, Bruce? King Kong Keller. That is some lofty company, I guess. And you ask, when you go back to the trading deadline and what a stunner this was, beating the buzzer at the deadline, why would the Yankees trade for a dude who's in a walking boot, giving up Jordan Montgomery, who was pitching so well at the time? Well, now we see why. Not only has Bader's glove been exceptional, Harrison Bader with 3 home runs in 4 postseason games in a Yankees uniform, the very uniform of the team that he grew up rooting for. It is really an incredible story developing here in the postseason.
The kid from Horace Mann has been outstanding.
Yeah.
All right, a big talking point is Clay Holmes. When I saw him at the All-Star game, he was untouchable. 1.31 ERA in 41.1 innings. And then after the break, he wasn't the same pitcher. And down the stretch, had the shoulder sprain. And then yesterday, the big story, Holmes not getting into the game. Some criticism of the way Aaron Boone handled it. John, what's the reaction like tonight as Holmes contributed with a big 8th inning?
Well, and that is the key. Holmes coming in and contributing in the 8th and holding things down after Gerrit Cole was so sensational. And you know, everybody can kind of take a breath, I think, from this. But the bullpen issues are still lingering with this team, and Saturday night really exposed it. And, you know, they're trying to be very careful with Clay Holmes because of the shoulder soreness. They don't want to work him more than they need to. Back-to-backs are still questionable. And so Aaron Boone said the miscommunication really came from last night. He didn't tell Clay Holmes that he really wasn't available except for an emergency situation. And I think, judging by the reaction on social media especially, I think Yankees fans would say, well, that was an emergency situation last night. But again, Aaron Boone said that, you know, that's the difficult decision he gets paid to make, and he's going to have to live with it. And he pulled Clay aside and had a conversation with him after that. And I asked Clay about that. Clay told me that that really helped focus him going into the 8th inning tonight, knowing where he stood, knowing what the situation was, and how the Yankees were trying to protect him. He's their most important arm in the bullpen, Bruce.
Jameson Taillon gets the ball in Game 5. In Game 2, he took the loss in that 10th inning, but I don't really think you can blame him. He's not a guy who comes into a ball game. He's a starter. Yeah. This year he was 14-5, had a 3.91 ERA, had 151 Ks and 177 innings. Yes, he didn't record an out in Game 2, gave up 2 runs and 3 hits. But this is a starting role. He's not the guy you'd want in Game 1 or necessarily in Game 5. But, John, it's come down to this. So what kind of confidence do they have in Taillon?
Well, I think for starters, Taillon has confidence in himself. I go back to when he pitched the clincher for the Yankees in the AL East back in Toronto, and he told me in all that champagne afterwards that he wanted the ball that day. He wanted that moment, and he wanted to be the pitcher that ended up celebrating that night for the Yankees clinching the division. So don't get it twisted. Jameson Taillon wants the ball in this moment tomorrow, and you know that it's going to be Taillon on a short leash, and anyone who's available to pitch is going to pitch. Domingo Germán certainly on that list, but Jameson Taillon feels ready for this moment, and his Yankees teammates have full faith in him going into Game 5.
Just go out and do what he did to clinch the division against Toronto. That was some good stuff.
It's a must-win game, and if there's ever going to be someone that you want to give the ball to, you know, I have complete confidence in what he does, and there's a reason why he's in that position. To come out of here, you know, with one game is awesome, but to return it home so they can feel our energy and our fans, I'm just looking forward to it.
There's definitely going to be some added adrenaline and stuff when you step foot into Yankee Stadium, so I'm going to do my best just to keep my day as normal as possible. You know, and for me, I'm a guy who, if I get too far outside of myself and my game plan, that's not going to work for me. So I need to just keep it simple, keep it mellow, execute pitches, and do my job.
Keep it simple. Bruce, I could throw a number of historical stats at you, like Cleveland is 4-20 since '99 when facing elimination, or the Yankees have only won 26% of the series that they've trailed 2-1. But you know what? None of that is worth the paper it's printed on. This is do or die. This is one game. It is in the Bronx. It is what the Yankees wanted. That's the end of the line.
Thanks, John, and say goodbye to your real home, and now say hello to your home away from home. We'll see you back in New York. Great job out there. Thank you very much.
You got it, Bubba.